Okay, so here it is, the Chibson Les Paul Standard, and it's looking pretty good. I've gone over it pretty well, given it a setup, new set of strings. I found that the detail work is fairly good, set up pretty nicely. The inlays, unlike another video I saw where the inlays were kind of sloppy, these inlays are nicely put in there tight, and they look good. They're straight. The finish is nice. The switch is a nice professional type switch, not the cheap can switch. Pickups are both potted and take pretty well to high level overdrive. The bridge is a standard import bridge. It's okay. You know, nothing fantastic, nothing real bad, but it seems to do the job. Tailpiece, same thing. Seems all right. The pots are pretty nice. They're not noisy. They have a nice taper, and they're the large can. The wiring inside and the routing inside the cavity was fairly nice, as was the cavities inside the pickup areas. The truss rod cover, when you remove it, actually both screws are attached to wood, and the route is neat and clean, and the truss rod itself is a little farther into the fingerboard. They give you a couple of wrenches and they fit nicely, and actually the truss rod adjusted very smoothly. The tuners are so-so. Jury's out on the tuners just yet. I don't know if I have a one or two that may be slipping a little bit, or if the nut slots themselves just need to be cleaned a little better. I will say the nut slots were extremely high on this guitar. When I took it out, I could have played lap steel with it, so I had to notch the slots down. If you don't know what you're doing, have somebody do it. If you know what you're doing, it's not that big of a deal. Seems to be a one-piece neck and headstock. I didn't notice the famous or infamous scarf joint. The neck was pretty straight, needed a slight adjustment for a little bit of underbow, nothing abnormal, and it adjusted pretty well. One thing I will say is that the pickups are relatively tight sitting within the bezels, and you know, adjusting them up and down was a little tight, and you had to coax it a little bit. But the idea is, once you have the pickups at the height you need them at, you shouldn't need to be moving them around very much. So try and get a couple different angles here. This isn't going to be a very sophisticated video, obviously, but just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview, and then when I come back, I'll play a couple of chords and things, nothing fancy, but just give you an idea on what it sounds like. Okay? So let's see if I can get one more. Ooh. Not sure if that's going to come up. A little bit of flame showing up there. Not nearly the flame that was depicted in the pictures, and that was the one drawback to the transaction, is that this is not really the same guitar that was pictured. Close, but not the same. But nonetheless, it's a pretty decent instrument. Okay, I'll come back. You probably won't see the guitar, or I don't know, but you'll hear it. Okay.